I think we all know how important mindset is. So for a child, then to say like, I'm going to get chemo, mama, but it's going to be okay. I know it's going to be hard, but I'm going to be really strong and really brave. When they are saying those words about themselves as they are about to embark on something really hard, can change everything.
Erika Sinner is the CEO of multiple companies, from Directorie, an award-winning medtech agency, to writing a best-selling book.
I'm still working on confidence, self-worth. Took a lot of therapy to even get to be in this place that for kids, if we can help them feel strong and brave and not ashamed of their scars, that they're actually super strong and super brave, the generational impact that we could have if all of them feel like superheroes coming out of it would be huge.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the CEO School podcast. I'm your host, Suneera Madani, and today we have such a special episode in store for you today. If you have been wanting to follow your passions and you are multi-passionate as an entrepreneur, which let's face it, most women are, you are going to want to listen all the way through. You're going to be so inspired by Erika's story. Erika Sinner is a dear friend of mine, and she is the CEO of multiple companies. She runs 8-figure empires, from Directorie, an award-winning medtech agency, which has won Inc. 5000 2 years straight, to writing a best-selling book, Pets Are Family, and then also giving back in the most impactful way with her nonprofit, TinySuperheroes. I'm so excited to welcome Erika to the show. Erika, welcome to CEO School.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be here with you, to get time with you. I'm so excited for our conversation.
This has been 3 years and 3 companies in the making, actually. This has been 3 years and 3 companies in the making. I've known Erika for a very long time. I met Erika through our original CEO School retreats. OG 7-figure founder clubs, which then turned into the Millionaire Founders Club. But Erika, I've watched your journey. I'm so incredibly grateful for all that you do to represent all your passions. And so I want to kind of hear about the starting point. So take us back to Directorie days and tell us about Directorie and how these other passions came about.
Thank you. And I also just want to start by saying thank you for being an example of what is possible. I think we met years ago, and seeing what you do, seeing the women you've pulled together, it's given me the confidence to do the things that I do. So I just needed to say that to you and honor that before we start.
Thank you, Erika. So Erika, tell me how you got started in medtech.
So I started at a pharmaceutical company when I was 21 as a receptionist.
Wow.
I know. I was going to night school, and I had been working in hospitality and hotels. And I knew I wanted to do something with people, with health, but it wasn't in the terms of being a doctor, or that wasn't how I was going to help. Mm-hmm. So I actually started my career in life sciences at 21 as a receptionist.
Wow.
Buzzing people in the door, giving out badges. I was going to night school at the time. I had decided I wanted to help people, but not in a way of being a doctor or a nurse. And so I thought, well, could I help in the medications that they take that could actually save their lives or change their lives? And as I was going through night school, I was getting to know all of the people of this organization. And I actually made up a fake project and told the VP of marketing that my whole grade depended on it. And I made up a journal ad, a patient education brochure. Yes.
To what? To get visibility with the leadership?
Yeah.
That is genius. If there is a intern or a college student listening to this, take notes on that.
Yes. I mean, I really made him feel for me too. I was like, my whole project's on this. I don't know if I'm going to pass this class. And it was really, I wanted him to see that I could think like a marketer, that I could do the same types of work that the marketers upstairs were doing. It ended up being a lot of work. He had a lot of markups. So that weekend, I put it all together, but he wanted to see the finished project. And the really beautiful thing is a month later, a job was open and I got it.
I mean, that is genius. Does he know that you made up the project later?
It took me about 2 years to admit it to him.
Oh my God. You are naughty. I love it. That is so good.
You go after what you want.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, and create your own opportunities and create your own luck. I'm so glad that I did it because it gave me 11 years working in different pharmaceutical companies, launching different brands, really learning what it takes to bring a product to market from the very beginning, from clinical trial all the way to market. And then for me, Directorie was really born out of, I made it through 11 rounds of layoffs. I watched a lot of people lose their jobs. Safety is a core value for me in such a big way. And safety for me is money. I grew up with not a lot of money in a trailer park on food stamps. And so money for me was always, gosh, I don't want to end up living in a box. I need to have food on the table. I want to have electricity. And I think for you, one of the things that you've helped me mentor is to be really proud and okay and have permission to say, I want to have money, not just for safety, but because I'm accomplished and nothing bad happens when women make more money.
Yes.
I think, moving into the life science space and seeing all of those layoffs, pharma is a game of mergers, acquisitions, and divestitures. And so when you see people lose their jobs, when you're worried you're not going to have yours, the last round they had said to me, you're going to have to move to New Jersey. I wanted to stay in St. Louis. And I felt like I had identified a need in the marketplace that small to mid-sized pharmaceutical companies don't have access to top talent when they're being bought up or divested.
Yeah.
And so that's what Directorie does.
Okay.
We serve as commercial teams for small to mid-sized companies who have really important assets where they're usually you bring a product to market, you have to submit it to the FDA. There's usually 2,500 applications that go to the FDA every year and only about 20 of them get approved. So that's a lot of jobs then that get dissolved. And so for us, we're just like, no problem. If they need more information, if you need a pause, we're here for you. And we're ready to make sure that you're ready to go when it's time.
That's awesome. The directory name also makes sense. It's a people's directory.
It's people's directory. It's also director level thinking on any commercial brand. And we only do commercial work. So we're not a market research firm. We don't do printing. So whatever we don't do, we actually serve as a directory with a Y and get you connected with the right partners.
I think that's so brilliant. And congratulations on all the success that Directorie's had.
Thank you.
Walk us through that level of from, you shared a little bit, and I appreciate the vulnerability that you shared about your background. And usually that becomes our why, how we are raised and whether it's, our traumas or our past, we are trying to ensure that our future self has the needs that weren't met or we're carrying that through. And through that, you ended up building this incredible organization, landing on not just regular growth, top level Inc. 5000 growth year over year. What does that Erika look back and feel on all of that success?
I mean, I pinch myself every day, but I also lead with my heart in such a big way. And I feel really proud to get to lead in the way that I've always wanted to see companies be led.
Mm-hmm.
And, all of my employees, I talk to them a lot about as a CEO, it's my job to figure out forecasting to make sure that business development is on track and that we're going to have the work in front of us so that I can make the commitment that if you do a good job, you will have a job. Period, right? Instead of saying, pour in your blood, sweat, and tears, because we have a great culture, but we also we demand high results. That's how we're on the Inc. 5000 list twice. And so it takes both to say I'm on the team.
That makes complete sense. And that is a CEO's job, right? I love what you said. You said it's about business development, making sure that we have it there and that we have the forecasting there. That is my job as a CEO. And it's your job to do the work, to get the work done. And you have A players, and it does take A players to go build these fast teams. That's a thread that we've seen on every single episode, all through the last several weeks. On every single CEO that sat in this seat is talked about scale did not happen without having the right people, but also having the right accountability for the people. And you can lead with accountability, but also be empathetic.
Yes.
And that's the part your next journey that happened, which is your book, Pets Are Family. I know that you lost a pet and you went on this journey on, your grief journey and then writing about it and sharing about it. And it's gone on to be such an incredible bestseller. And I've seen you on every TV show from the Today Show to Fox News talking about Pets Are Family. Tell us about that journey.
Yeah, it has been, it's always a beautiful thing when you can turn pain into passion. And for me, I shared a little bit about my growing up, and when my husband and I got married, we actually chose not to have human kids. So our dogs are our children. We treat them as such. I call myself a dog mom. They become a part of your identity. They shape who you are. They shape some of your spending habits, where you live. Even our house, it was because of the yard that we got for a dog that we chose the home that we have. But when I lost Kingston, he was my first loss. And he really was the first unconditional love for me. Even with my husband is my best friend. I have friends, but there's always a different kind of love that you share with your animals. They don't care if you're having a bad day. They don't care. They're just going to show up and they're going to love you. And so I was not prepared for the loss with Kingston. And in my company, it's what you said, right? We care a lot about our people, and we also hold them really accountable, which is how we get to our Inc. 5000. But we have compassionate policies like pet bereavement leave. And so when Kingston passed, we lost him within a week. We weren't prepared for that. And I took the leave. And what I was really shocked by was how I felt taking the leave. And I don't know if it's just being a woman or I'm not sure what it was, but taking it, I felt a lot of shame because some people were like, well, just get another dog. Or, you're a CEO, you need to show up, you need to instill confidence, you need to be here. I needed that time. I was really grieving. I was not okay. After losing Kingston and really honoring my feelings, honoring my grief. Grief is just love. That's what it is. You just miss them. And I felt a responsibility because I feel so lucky. I own my own company. I feel so lucky I have this policy in place that 8 out of 10 American homes have a dog, and they consider them part of their family, or a cat, right? It's your animal. And so I wanted to advocate for others to have this type of leave.
Yeah.
And so I decided to share my story and say, if you don't get it, I'm inviting you into my life, follow along the journey. And hopefully by the end, you'll understand that I'm a mom too, and I don't have to prerequisite it with a dog mom. And that pet bereavement leave can really be a start for corporate culture.
That's incredible. And is that what the book is about, Pets Are Family?
Yes.
Is it about your journey, Kingston's journey?
Yes. And how we grew our family. It's for anyone who's ever lost an animal and felt shame around it, or years later that you're still missing them and you're like, gosh, is there something wrong with me? And the answer is no. Like, you just missed them and you loved them. And then it's also for anyone who doesn't understand. They're like, it's just an animal. Like, I don't get it. So follow along my journey to really see why he mattered so much to me, why my animals matter so much to me. And the end of it, I'm a woman of action, same as you, right? It was about resources. It's if you don't want to read the whole story and you just want to go to part 5, it's here's how you implement this policy into your work. Here's text messages you could send. Here's gifts you could send. Here's just ways to show up for someone, because we don't have societal norms around what to do when someone loses an animal. You're not really sure what to say.
That is really true. And they are family. I've always had a dog. So and usually actually Pakistani families don't have, there's like certain cultures that don't have animals, or like not a lot of our cousins or friends had dogs. And we've always had a dog. And I remember, you're gonna make me sad now. I remember, I don't even get to talk about, I don't even think I've told my kids about, his name's Pooch. Pooch was a Cocker Spaniel. And when we moved to Karachi, I was really sad because we had a lot of change. And people don't know that I went to 10 different schools in 12 years. I've always felt I never have a seat at the table. I've always had to make new friends, constantly feel like I have to prove myself. My worthiness is around pleasing others or trying to fit in. When I moved to Karachi, it was so much change. I moved at the age of 8. So I was an American-born child. My parents decided to, move to Karachi out of, like, my dad was like, let's retire. Like, he was a very successful entrepreneur and thought, now that I've made it, I want to go back home. And then what happens is, like, he went back home and he was like, oh, things are a lot different than when I left when I was 16 years old. And we ended up moving back to Texas. I grew up in Texas. But when I moved to Karachi, he got us a puppy. And that was like our way of having a friend when I didn't have friends. And I actually don't know how Pooch died, because Pooch was lost. And he was a very handsome dog. And he would run around the neighborhood and he'd always come home, but we had lost him. He was gone. We searched everywhere for him. And in Karachi, there's not animal shelters or places that there's not a lot of pets, or they're either stray dogs or there's there's not a lot of places. And so we lost him and it was really devastating. But he was my first friend, in a new country, and he was our family. And when I left Karachi, it was on our 3rd year, we're moving back. I still remember I called because my uncle still lived in the neighborhood. Every time I called back, I still was always like, did anybody ever find him? His posters are still out. I still felt so tied to Pooch.
Yeah.
And so when we came back, we've always had a family dog, and that our next dog was Babe. We have really fun dog names, I guess. But Habibi, now we have Habibi for the kids. But I've always had a dog, and they've been with us. They're with you for such a long time until they're not.
Such important parts of your life too. I'm so glad we got to honor. Pooch,
we got to honor Pooch and Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a really important topic. That is the first time I've actually ever even heard about pet bereavement as a policy for your organization. I think it's really interesting because we all are trying to be empathetic leaders, and especially as women, right? We tend to lead with the best cultures. We do so much for our people. And that's why we build really successful companies, because people want to come work for us.
Yeah.
And so we have better maternity leave policies. We actually have paternity leave policies. We have bereavement policies. And so this is just an extension of what that love can look like.
Yeah.
And I think it's an important message. So thank you for sharing that. I'll be linking Pets Are Family in our show notes. And if you felt that, let's screenshot this and let our friends know that might be grieving their animals too.
Or share your animal and tag Pets Are Family. I'd love to see all of the pooches and cats and animals. Yes.
We will do that. Erika, and so along this journey, you are out speaking, you are going on stages, you are not shy of the camera. I've seen you on every major television network talking about this initiative. How did your next passion find you?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So TinySuperheroes is actually this organization. I learned about them in 2020. I fell in love with them. We tried to partner as Directorie and TinySuperheroes together. It used to be a for-profit company. And we just could never make it work. And it made sense why when they came to me last year and now getting to be the guardian of it, I feel such a different way of how I'm going about it. But last year they came to me and had just said, listen, it's not working as
And
a
what is
for-profit.
TinySuperheroes for those that don't know?
Yes. So we help kids who are born with a disability, or in medical terms, born with a birth defect or with an abnormality, which is language that's very negative, right? You're starting off telling a child there's something wrong with you or you're not normal. And so what we help do is to give that child a new story about who they are, that you actually have to be stronger and braver than everybody else. And you're not always getting to be in school. You don't get to belong to a sports team, but you do belong to a superhero squad because you are a superhero. And every single mission that you go on, every surgery, every chemo treatment, every x-ray, CT scan, all of it are things that you should be really proud of. And so that's what we help them feel.
And how do you guys help them feel that?
So we actually welcome them to our squad. They get a beautiful little shiny box because, marketing, we're very much into the experience. And we make it fun for them. It's top secret. We tell them caution, contents may increase courage, strength, and hope. And then they actually get their very own superhero cape. This is one of our newborns. And even for the newborns, it's not just for the kids, it's also for the parents. It gives you a new language about how you talk about the clinical journey that you're going on. And the cape represents your superhero. The inside says courage, strength, and hope. But then the really cool thing is celebrating all of those clinical milestones like the MRI scan, the CT scan, the chemo treatments. And so they feel really proud of it, right? Like when I met my first superhero, I wasn't sure what to say. I don't have human kids, but I know kids are super honest and they're going to tell you like it is.
Yeah.
But what do you say to a child who has cancer? And I wasn't sure. But when you walk in and you see them with their cape, the words come so easily. Immediately, I was like, oh my gosh, look how strong and brave you are. Let me see your cape. You're so experienced. Tell me about your missions. And they were so proud. Yes. They were so proud of everything they had accomplished.
As a mother myself, it's like seeing your child even get hurt on the smallest thing. Your heart shatters.
Yeah.
Your heart shatters in such a way. And to see children who just, it's not their fault that they were born into something or getting diagnosed with cancer, having to go through physiological pain, to see the needles, to see them go through it. It is so devastating to watch parents that we know, let alone I cannot even imagine going through that as a parent for my own child because you can't take it away. Like they have to be the ones to go through it.
Yeah.
And what TinySuperheroes allows for them is to feel brave and to celebrate themselves in whatever way that you can and do it at their level, on their language. And that's what kids want.
Yeah.
And even what you said about what do you say to a child that is going through that? Mm-hmm. They want to also have a normal childhood, and it allows you to have conversations around this and not let them feel like they are any different.
100%. And I think speaking to CEOs and founders, I think we all know how important mindset is.
Yes.
How you're like suiting up and you're getting ready for whatever is about to happen, whether it's the 100-hour work weeks, whether it's a raise, whatever it is you're about to go through, the mind work that it takes to do that. So for a child, then to say like, okay, we've had some of our children say to their parents, and the parents like repeat this back to us. And this is where I always get goosebumps when a child says to their mom, I'm going to get chemo, mama, but it's going to be okay. I know it's going to be hard, but I'm going to be really strong and really brave. When they are saying those words about themselves as they are about to embark on something really hard, can change everything. It can have such a generational impact. For me, I'm still working on confidence, self-worth. I'm also a people pleaser. Took a lot of therapy to even get to be in this place. That for kids, if we can help them feel strong and brave and not ashamed of their colostomy bags, not ashamed of their scars, that they're actually super strong and super brave. This is 5.2 million kids every single year admitted to a hospital. The generational impact that we could have if all of them feel like superheroes coming out of it could be huge.
Could be huge. It should be huge. It should be huge. How do we get these capes to all the kids, right? I mean, we're all behind you. CEO School is behind you. All of these women are behind you. I feel like we all have goosebumps right now and we need to see this mission. Like there's no way that this can fail. Tell us about what does it take to activate? I know there's a huge wait list for kids that can't afford to have it. How does it all work? Could you share the business behind it a little bit?
Of course. Yeah, we are. So we're not trying to boil the ocean. There's 6,000 hospitals in the United States. 226 of them are children's hospitals. And they actually make up 75% of all of those admissions. So we're going after. It doesn't
feel that large.
Very achievable.
Yes.
Yes. So that's who we're going after. We're going to go into every single children's hospital. And so far we're in 8, which I'm really proud of the ones that we're in. They are the top tier institutions that become centers of excellence, and protocols come after those institutions like Boston Children's or CHLA. So I'm super proud of the partnerships that we've started. And the way that we're fundraising can be, a corporate donation, a corporate sponsorship, host a team builder where we come in and we talk about the mission and we bring play to work. I think play is such a foundational part of TinySuperheroes. It's being able to talk about really heavy things, but in a fun way. Play is how we process our grief, process our emotions, process uncertainty. And I think as adults, maybe we forget that sometimes. So I'm trying to bring play into work with team building.
And I love that. Yeah. We can all do that. We can all do a team building event around TinySuperheroes.
Yes. Yeah, where you'll actually get to create a patch that will go on a cape that goes to the children on our wait list. And that's the goal, is all of those things fund us being able to go into those 226 hospitals. And then we have a wait list on our website for kids who aren't going to those, right? There's still those rural hospitals that are going to need their superhero capes. And I think that those are the ones where the kids feel it even more, because what the beautiful thing about this is it's such a universal signal that a child in any hospital, especially not a children's one where they don't have the brightly colored rooms, where they don't get picked by celebrities to stop by, when they wear their cape, everyone from the janitor to the receptionist to patients coming in are like, oh my God, you're a superhero. And that's all kids need to feel. It's just special.
I love this. I mean, 100% we need to get this into the hands of every kid. So is it really just the gap in funding that is stopping us? It's a gap in funding.
Yep.
And what does it cost to fund a box or fund a child?
It's $29 for the starter kit.
$29 to make that kid feel that special.
They get a cape. They get their initial patch. They get the free monthly mission program. We do those for fun every month so that it's not just clinical milestones that they're celebrating. And then we have a Facebook group for parents. And today we have 55,000 parents in our main group. We have a dad's group. We have our angel squad. And it's $29 to fund a lifetime impact.
$29 to fund a lifetime impact. And you said there's a wait list of kids who are looking to get this funded.
Yes. And every day they get an email that says, keep looking for your inbox. You could be activated in a day. Just keep looking out. We carry usually around 100 right now. As we keep growing and our awareness keeps coming, the list keeps growing. So there's never a shortage of either a hospital who is waiting to get their starter kits for one of their units, whether it's oncology, surgery, their NICU, or a wait list online.
Okay, so this seems like a simple business equation to me right now. Like there's a number of kids that need this. We have a community that can really rally around this. I know you're listening. We can get this wait list fulfilled. I want to figure out how to get this wait list fulfilled. What is the number on the wait list?
I mean, today it's an average of 100, but we have
100 a day.
No, we have about 100 a week that are on the wait list.
100 a week that are on the wait list.
We have 11 hospitals that want to go full on.
Yes,
and those are thousands of kids. So,
so you have 100 a week, so about 500 kids a month or 400 kids a month that are signing up online to go do that. We definitely are going to activate that, and then you've got 11 hospitals that are waiting to. And what is a hospital? So you need introductions for hospitals, because this community can make introductions. Because we're all here, we're all listening. We all know a hospital. There's probably someone that works, one of your friends, your partner, your mother-in-law, your neighbor that is working at one of these children's hospitals. How do we get the hospitals to adopt this versus just one at a time for the kids, so that the hospitals just have the kids ready to go?
And they're
Wouldn't
ready.
That be like the one-to-many business model?
Yes. And every hospital we've talked to is they want the program. It's being able to come to them and say, not only can we talk to you, we're having a clinical impact with these kids. Are not having to be sedated for MRI scans. That's a big deal. They're more compliant with their therapy. Nurses aren't having to pin them down to give them injections or change their IVs. So there's a real clinical impact to play in the hospital. And so my ask would be, if you were willing to fundraise, if you were willing to take this on as your charity of choice for your organization, let's do it in your hospital, in your town, and turn your kids into superheroes.
I love that. We are definitely going to be activating that. And we're going to be working so close together with CEO School to figure this out. Every child deserves to feel like a superhero.
Yeah. And I just have to say to you before we close, just on Tiny Superheroes, when they came to me, you and I had a 30-minute call and I had told you I was going to do this. And I was like, I'm not sure if I should do this. I'm a CEO of a med tech agency. I now wrote a book I didn't think I was going to write. Like, can I really, I have goosebumps as I say this, like, can I really take guardianship of such an important mission that could have? I mean, we're on track to help 5 million kids in the next 5 years. That's a big deal. And in 30 minutes, you were like, hell yeah, yes, do it, and we will figure it out. And I think that's the thing I want to say is if you feel called or led, if there's something that is inside of your heart, like believe in yourself. In this community, you have the right people that will help you make it happen. Like here we are.
I'm so glad that you're doing it and we're going to help do this. And this is going to be everywhere. This is so important. All the work that you're doing is so meaningful.
Thank you.
And I think you really do. You wear all these hats so well. You really do. It's not easy to take a hat, put it on, take a hat, turn it off. And it is important when you have a successful business. I kind of want to also bring this back on the multi-passion piece, right? Because when you have success and, you ran this awesome, med tech agency and you're running it still, success in your work life can have impact, can have massive amounts of freedom to do impact in the projects that you're passionate about. That is when CEO School, and I've always wanted to share my journey with female founders. I've always had that passion to do that, but it didn't happen until Stacks was like about to exit, or when I was able to really step outside of like the day-to-day CEO role. And when I was able to find that little bit of time, the first place that I went was here's like what I'm passionate about, and I'm able to make an impact. But I would not have been able to make an impact if my business was not successful as well. Right. And so it is important. Sometimes we forget, like we're building these businesses and we're like, oh, I'm getting lost because I can't find the passion in it. Well, what if that could actually fuel the impact that you're wanting to have a passion in? And that's why nothing bad happens when women make more money. Everything good happens when women make more money, because when women make money and are on the Inc. 5000 list and are building companies that are 8-figure plus, the second that you have a little moment and you see something that you're like, I need to pursue, because this was going to shut down.
Yes.
And I remember that conversation. You're like, what do I do with it? And you're like, do I take it? And it was a hell yes, because you had the freedom of time, because you had the freedom of dollar to be able to make the freedom of impact, Erika.
Yes.
And look at the impact that you're going to make. And I want to ensure that all of you listen to this message, that your business does matter. And this is why us as founders, why I get so frustrated. We need to be dreaming big. We need to be building bigger, because the more our businesses are successful, the more everything around us can be successful. And
100%.
we have to make this successful. And so we're going to rally around Erika. We're going to rally around this incredible mission. I'm here to fully support this. We're here to fully support this. Erika, thank you for being on the show, for sharing your incredible journey. Where do we go find everything so we can take action today?
I would love to connect with anyone on Instagram. I respond to every single DM. TinySuperheroes.com. You can find everything about Tiny Superheroes, and erikasinner.org has all the things about my book and what I'm doing there. So I just would love to connect. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much for being on the show. And if you enjoyed this conversation, take action, right? Like take action. We know a hospital, we know a friend. Tag Erika. Let's amplify the brand. That's also something we can all do. And we forget to do that. We're in this element where we're constantly scrolling, and it's important to also help take action on things that we do see that are important to get out. So take action, double tap, share, like, tell the world so that everyone can participate and support all of these tiny superheroes everywhere. I'll be linking everything in the show notes. And until next week, I'll see you on CEO School. Bye, everyone.